Welcome to Wealth and Wellness with Grace Nabasabla.
We all are faced with some challenges when we start our wellness journey. So today, I get to share with you some solutions. Stick around to the very end. Today, I'll focus on solutions to overcoming some challenges that you and I might encounter when we start working on our wellness journey. And the first thing, we talked about time management. What can we do to manage our time and incorporate wellness? Think about time scheduling, blocking your time to make sure that even that 10 minutes or 15-minute increment, you can add one activity that you can do to help you better your wellness. One thing that I actually did was taking 10 minutes to do deep breathing. Can you imagine? That was something I didn't plan ahead of time, but when I started doing it, it made a big difference in my life. 10 minutes, literally, in every 2 hours. Just 10 minutes. You might think about what can 10 minutes do, but it changed my life because in those 10 minutes, I would do my affirmations, I would breathe, deep breathe, you see, just 10 minutes. And I felt much better. And I increased my mood in 10 minutes because I time blocked it. The other thing about time scheduling, it helps you prioritize yourself. Because think about what we put on our calendars. On a daily basis, we schedule everybody else as important. But who do we miss out? Ourselves, unfortunately. And yet, if you start prioritizing yourself, guess what happens? Other people start prioritizing you because it's a subconscious thing. So the more you prioritize yourself, put that on your calendar. Grace this time, from this time to this time. That will help you tremendously. The other thing which can help us is starting small. Change is a gradual process. So you think about what can you do to change? Because start with something that you're familiar with, you see? And like I'm saying, change is a gradual process. I can start exercising with, say, for example, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, not even at a gym. It's 5 minutes of walking around the house. Then when I get enough energy, I'll walk around the neighborhood. Then I'll go to the park. That's just 5 minutes. The more you do it, you keep advancing. Before you know it, you're walking for an hour. And then you're starting jogging because you have to progress as you go. I caution starting right away at an hour mark because that will burn you out. It will become overwhelming because you wasn't used to doing it for an hour. So start slow but steady and you get to that goal that you're trying to accomplish. And this also includes setting realistic expectations because I'm talking about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes for me might not be a big deal for somebody else. You see, they might need 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So you have to think about what's realistic for you. Don't do what Grace is doing. Do what's realistic for you. And like we talked about, wellness is on a continuum. So somebody might have a chronic disease or illness and they're not able to tolerate 10 minutes of workout. So always listen to your doctor's recommendation. This is a disclaimer because I don't want you to overwhelm yourself initially. Follow your doctor's order. Just like I talked about drinking water. You see, when you're increasing your wellness and your hydration, what does your doctor say according to that illness? You don't want to become fluid overload. Think about those things that are relevant to you and your personal life, and also consult your healthcare professional. But if you can tolerate, that's what I'm talking about. You get to increase as much as you can tolerate. Another thing is technology detox. This is a serious issue. I have a coworker. She told me once that she was addicted to social media. So I know a lot of people might not realize that they're addicted, but they really are. Because think about how often you're checking your social media sites. From time to time, every time I feel like I'm overdoing it, I literally have to shut it off. And I go days without checking my social media. People reach out to me, Grace, are you okay? What's going on? We don't see you on social media anymore. Because when I realize that I'm overdoing it, I slow it down. because anything can become addictive, but you have control more than you know. So I try to have times that I actually check my social media. I don't even have Facebook on my cell phone. I try to take off that app because it makes it easy to access. However, if I don't have it on my phone, it takes me time to get home, look at my computer, then access it. So it makes it harder. And that helps me not overwhelm myself on social media. So I hope you do the same, because you being on social media that often, that also takes away from things that you can do to help your wellness. So think about things you can do. Turn off your social media at a certain time. Also planning, you see, different times that you can utilize it to help you and your wellness journey. Another thing is multitasking. I do this a lot, especially when I'm traveling, going back and forth. I listen to audiobooks. That's really helpful because I like to learn, and also I like to hear positive information. So affirmation, motivation information. So when I'm traveling, I'm literally multitasking, listening to all this powerful information while driving. So I hope you can do that, because that's also uplifting my mood. That's increasing my knowledge. As much as I'm not really doing anything bad driving. So, no is a complete sentence. I know most of us don't like to be told no, but no is knowing that you have a right to say no. That's a boundary that you have to set. And most often, when we don't set those boundaries, that affects us more than we realize. I have a friend, okay? If she watches this video, she'll probably know that I'm talking about her. But she does so much, so often for everybody else, and she never focuses on her life. But the problem is, she's been at emergency rooms after emergency rooms after emergency rooms. And I keep asking her, why do you agree to do all these things? Because those emergency room visits cost money. And guess who has to end up paying it? She does. The other people that she's overwhelmed for, nobody cares about her life. So if you like your life and you care about your life, prioritize yourself by saying no, by setting that boundary. Another thing is our social connections. You see, who are you socializing with? It's imperative that we have positive social connections. Sometimes we let people have access to us who are not positive. You see, who are not doing us any good. So we have to know, okay, we like this positive circle. This is a social connection. We have to choose who our social circles are. And that also helps us with connection. It helps us with our emotions. Hopefully that you start evaluating your circles, because we have some circles which might not be the best circles for you. So I try to evaluate my circles as much as I can. I hope you do the same. Also, limit exposure to stress. Each and everything can be stressful. In this day and age, everything can be stressful. Literally, coming here, I almost had 2 accidents. And it wasn't my personal doing. It was somebody who was trying to cut me off. And this was done by 2 different individuals. But do you know what I told myself? They want to go faster before me. That's okay. Because maybe their stuff is more important than mine. Because you have to be positive about it. It's all about perspective. So maybe whatever they're doing and wherever they're going is more important than me. So instead of thinking about road rage, going, I have to go faster, let them go. You see, we'll all get where we're supposed to go. So being positive in that way and limiting those stressors, because those stressors, if you don't know, they can become chronic, and that becomes a cancer in your bones. So think about what can you do to release those stressors. And if it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal. Another thing is seeking professional help. This is really important, because sometimes we look at seeking professional help as a problem and we might stereotype it. But we all need a voice of reason. Sometimes we have personal challenges, and that's why when you hear somebody, oh, they're going through something, and people laugh at them, I don't like that. Because then if that person doesn't seek help, guess what happens? That person suffers in silence. So we need to be more open. We need to be more welcoming. When somebody needs help, we need to be more kind and at least share recommendations. Because on Facebook, what actually helps me with social media also, I check on everybody who needs help, or even I cry for help. And the way I do this is, so many times people put on there, oh, my life is out of control, I can't do this anymore. Small, subtle signs that somebody's getting really overwhelmed. And all you can do is just send them a text, right? If I know them personally, I can send them a text, call them, I can send them an invoice, even if they don't know me. And it's been late at night, and I always reach out to them and say, I saw your message on Facebook. If you need any help, let me know. You see, and one time, this lady Lily just wanted a meal for her family. You see, as she was overwhelmed, she's like, I don't know what to do. But if that person is putting it out there on social media, better believe that they really need the help. Because if you don't need the help, you wouldn't put yourself out there like that. So just sharing and making sure that that person knows that we saw you, we heard your cry. You see? Because me helping that person, they might be helping me next time. Or they might even help my offsprings next time. So we have to be cognizant of that, and also think about when you see those subtle signs, don't just scroll past it. What can you do? You see, can you put maybe I care about you? Maybe this is not the end of the world. Do something, because we need you. And that's how we become well as well, because the more we do for others, we're really helping ourselves. Another great thing is also practicing self-compassion. Things won't go as you plan. You see, sometimes we start something and we want all these things to be done the way we want them to be done. Things might not go as planned, but have grace on yourself. So I'm having grace on grace, and when things don't go as planned, I leave it to the higher power, because the higher power knows more than I do. And that's all I have to do. I ask for help, and most often the help has come. Because when I feel overwhelmed, I'm like, God, I don't know what else to do. I've done everything, and this thing is not panning out. And literally today, I always have miracles happen, you see, because then I'm thinking about something and I'm like, God, I don't really want to reach out to such and such person because I don't want to overwhelm them with my problems. And that same person does something that you never even asked, but you wanted them to do that particular thing, but you never asked for it. And they call you and they're like, oh, this is done. And you're like, you see, because I asked for help. I might not have reached out to them, but I reached out to the higher power who helped me get to that person, and whatever I needed done, got done. So be compassionate on yourself, because we are human and things might not happen the way you want, but it's okay. Another great thing is also thinking about what you can do to meal prep. You see, so cook at home and try to have the food ready at home. That's not just helping you save money. It's also helping you with your health. Because a lot of times, ready-made food, guess what? It's highly processed. And that is sodium that you're eating. You see, it's sweets, sugars, sodium, everything that's in there, that's not really helping your health. And you know, sodium, which is, I'm talking about salt here, salt also increases your chances of getting high blood pressure. You see, and then you're thinking about sugars, that's diabetes. So you're giving yourself, you see, to diabetes and high blood pressure because of the more you're eating out and exposing yourself to those diseases. So what can you do better is start cooking at home and limit eating out by meal prepping. Of course, that will help you tremendously. Last but not least is having somebody to hold you accountable. Having an accountability partner. This can be your kids, of course. My kids are my accountability partner when it comes to health, because they'll remind me when I do something that I told them, don't do this, they'll remind me. So those are my accountability partner, because most times I have to think about what examples am I setting for them. And even if they might not follow what I'm telling them now, I'm sure deep down they'll always remember, my mama told me this. You see, I shouldn't do this. I should do this. You see? So those are the examples we are teaching our kids. Monkey see, monkey do. So I'm hoping I'm setting a better example when I go out to exercise. I'm bringing my kids along. I'm trying hard with my daughter because she feels like she's a cheerleader. And she doesn't like to go out and exercise since she's already a cheerleader, but I'm still encouraging her because all those small steps count. So what can you do to get an accountability partner? It can be your husband, your spouse, your friend. You see, anybody you can find out there to hold you accountable with your eating habits, with your exercise, with your emotions, because that's the other thing. You see, are you always screaming and yelling and nobody holds you accountable? You're giving yourself stress. You see, that's high blood pressure, stress, that's diabetes. So all these problems that you're causing on your body because you don't have an accountability partner. And I hope you learned a thing or two about all the things that we can do to challenge ourselves, okay, to overcome the previous challenges and struggles when it comes to wellness. So until next time, share in the comments below what you took away from this video. And I hope you took away several points from this. Until next time.